You know, it's not every day that we have a prospect on our hands that was drafted so late, that was drafted so recently, and that has made such an impression that he ends up getting a contract. Let's talk today about Patrik Allvin and his newest signee for the Vancouver Canucks. It is Vilmer Alriksson, signed on to a 3-year ELC. Take a look at this right here. Vancouver Canucks GM Patrik Allvin announced today that the club has agreed to terms with forward Vilmer Alriksson on a 3-year entry-level contract. Vilmer had a solid training camp and continues to develop and improve, said Allvin. We really like his size, skating ability, and skill set, and we will continue to monitor his progress and work with him this year to help Vilmer get ready to take another step forward in his hockey career. Alriksson, 19, recently completed his first OHL season with the Guelph Storm, recording 33 points and 35 penalty minutes in 67 games. He established personal bests in goals, assists, and points, and collected an additional point in 4 playoff games spent with the Guelph Storm. Prior to his OHL career, the Stockholm, Sweden native played 43 games for Djurgården's junior team, where he recorded 21 points and 22 penalty minutes. The 6'6", 234-pound forward was originally selected by the Vancouver Canucks in the 4th round, 107th overall in the 2023 draft. Now, here's the thing that I'm thinking about with Vilmer Alriksson. My immediate instinct when I saw this was kind of stupid. I was like, wait a minute, he didn't have a contract the whole time? So the Canucks had a prospect that was participating in prospect camp, that was playing in the prospect tournament. He didn't have any contract. Okay, that's usually normal. And then he played in the preseason too? Really? You're allowed to do that? And I was like, wait, you're allowed to do that, huh? And then I clicked and I was like, oh yeah, of course you're allowed to do that. They have his rights. What am I talking about? So, yeah, that's kind of where my mindset is. I am kind of stupid if you couldn't already tell. But Vilmer Alriksson getting a contract, I'm a really big fan of this move because, man oh man, does this guy deserve the deal. He was a beast, absolute monster against the other prospects in the Young Stars tournament, and then he also showed off pretty well in the preseason. Not the best, you know, he's not like Elias Pettersson out there. He's not clapping bombs and doing whatever it is to your moms, but he was impressive enough to warrant considering taking a longer-term look. If you go over to Vilmer Alriksson and you take a look at the profile here, I mean, there's a lot of potential in a profile like this. 19 years old, 6'6", 234, I think that should say, right? Because the article here said that he was a lot heavier. Yeah, 234 on the Canucks website versus 214 on Elite Prospects. I guess they're going to have to update that. But Vilmer Alriksson, heavy shooter, two-way forward, already on his ELC, 4th-round guy in 2023. You know how many 4th-round guys in 2023 actually have contracts? Let's go out there and see here. Connor Smith, Andrew Strathman, Alexander Rykov, Florian Xhekaj. Okay, Florian Xhekaj. Pretty good player right there. Sorry, Elite Prospects, I can't go out there and subscribe to your email updates. But, I mean, just taking a look at some of these guys here on the 4th round. How many of these dudes already have ELCs? Unsigned, 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 unsigned. Okay, Florian Xhekaj has a contract, as we had already talked about. Patrick Thomas, unsigned. Ty Mueller, signed. Yeah, so Ty Mueller also has himself a contract here. Overage guy who's going to be playing in the Abbotsford system. Hoyt Stanley, unsigned, unsigned, unsigned. A lot of... Okay, Yessi Nurmi is signed by the New York Islanders. Nice to see that. Luca Pinelli also signed. Good prospect for the CBJ squad. But most of these guys are unsigned. And that, I think, is... Okay, Cam Squires is signed. That, I think, is the point that I'm trying to make here, that 4th-round dudes rarely actually get contracts this early on in their careers. And for Vilmer Alriksson, it's even more special because it's not like he scored the lights out either. 33 points in 67 games played in a draft plus 1 year is not great in particular, but Of course, you're thinking about Vilmer Alriksson. You're not talking about this guy because he's got 100-point potential. You're talking about this guy because he has a really similar build and profile to a guy like Elmer Soderblom, for example. He has hands, he has skill, he has size, he's got a long stride, and if you combine these all together, you have a unique player type that you can't really find anywhere else. How many big dudes do you see going out there, dangling the pants off of goalies, making huge strides, and using that long reach to just go around guys like Vilmer Alriksson was at the Young Stars Classic earlier last week? He was doing very good things in that tournament. And heading into the preseason games, of course, he didn't have that same level of dominance against the regular Calgary Flames players or the Seattle Kraken players. I kind of lost track out of which games he actually played in the preseason, but he wasn't totally out to lunch. He wasn't there looking uncomfortable. He was there looking fine. Maybe not the best player out there, but at 19 years old, only exposed to one season in the OHL, that's a really big step. And the fact that he looked competent enough to give a contract to, I think is a really good sign. So heading into next season, this is where we start to talk about expectations. I don't want to say that I'm expecting Vilmer Alriksson to light the lamp and score 50 goals and 50 assists and get a 100-point year in the OHL. Obviously, that would be nice. But if he's able to at least just improve this production, go from 17 goals, let's say, to 25 goals or 30 goals, go from 33 points to, let's just say, 60 points. If he's a point-per-game guy, I think that's a reasonably good season for a guy that had a very, very good prospect tournament and Young Stars Classic tournament. He dominated well against those other prospects, so against guys his own age in the OHL, especially at 19 years old, there's a lot of opportunity here for this Vancouver Canucks prospect to take the next step and use that experience in next year's training and Canucks camp to really make strides in a positive way. By the time he's in Abbotsford, hopefully he's able to exhibit that same Elmer Soderblom-like development path. And I'm only using Soderblom as the comparable here because he's also big and Swedish, 6'8", 247, drafted in the 6th round, but guess what? This 6th round pick inevitably played NHL games, and during that time, he didn't look too out of place. Now, Soderblom has kind of reached a plateau in his development. I'm not too sure if NHL playing time is in the cards for this upcoming year, but there was a time when he actually did have those minutes, and it was seen as a positive trend for his development. You rarely see that out of 6th round guys, and you rarely see that out of 4th round guys who were drafted just last year. That's the thing, right? You can't teach size. That's always going to be a point here for development and thinking about prospects and how good they're going to be. Vilmer Alriksson was using his size really well in the prospect tournament and in some certain stints in the preseason too. So good on him for getting a contract with the Vancouver Canucks. He has been pretty good, I'd say. Lots to like here out of Vilmer Alriksson and his overall profile. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks signing Vilmer Alriksson to a 3-year ELC. What are your thoughts on his progression and development so far? How far do you think he's going to go as he continues to get better in the OHL? And where do you think his NHL ceiling lies? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.